Okay, so what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about what's called the coordinate plane, which is something that you are already familiar with, um, which is a graph with four different areas, and we're going to talk about those four. This may sound really simple and easy, but it's very important that you understand the basics of how to use this, how to use a graph, because that is going to determine that's going to help you out quite a bit. This is the basis for this entire unit. There are so many pieces to this unit. You need to pay attention. You need to keep up with everything, and then you need to make sure that if you've got questions, you ask. You keep up with everything daily, and go from there. So let's look at some vocabulary, key vocabulary words that you need to know. So the first one is a plane determined by a horizontal axis. You've got it basically looks like a plus sign, and you've got two lines. You've got one that's on the horizon, and you've got one that's vertical. And the one that's on the horizon is your x-axis, and the one that's vertical is your y-axis. You got to know the difference between these two. When you were in elementary school, the very first thing you learned about was a number line, and it went 0, 1, 2, 3, and so on and so on. Then when you got into your upper grades, you learned that there were other numbers on that number line that were integers, that were negative numbers. So these numbers are positive because they go up. So it's 1, 2, 3, and so on. And then the numbers going down are negative, -1, -2, and so on and so on. This is a coordinate plane. That is why this is quadrant 1, quadrant 2, quadrant 3, and quadrant 4, which we're going to learn more about here over the next couple of days and in today's activities. All right. A plane determined by a horizontal axis is called a coordinate plane. That should be something that you guys already know. And all right, the horizontal number line, the one that goes on the horizon, is called the x-axis. The one that goes vertical is called the y-axis. This is all, like I said, this is all stuff that you already know. We're just kind of taking it a step further. Blank is a pair of numbers used to locate a point on the coordinate plane, and that is an ordered pair. So all of these plots that are on a graph are called ordered pairs. So you've got this little dot right here. An ordered pair is written with a parentheses. You write whatever is on your x-axis, that number is first. Then you write whatever is on you go up or down or side, back, whatever. And that's whatever is on your y-axis. So your y goes second. There are four regions on a coordinate plane. Those are called quadrants. And the point where the number lines intersect right here at 0, 0. That means that it doesn't move on the x-axis and it doesn't move on the y-axis. It just stays where it is. That is called the origin. So that's where we begin everything. So when we're working with these coordinates, we always start from the origin. All right. Oops, I didn't think all of that was going to stay, but let's go ahead and erase it. All right, so here's where I would suggest, and I actually more than suggest, I think you need to do this because this is what you're going to actually turn in today on this assignment. Actually, you're not going to turn it in, but you are going to be answering questions. we're going to actually graph some of these things. And we're going to start with this one right here, this first one. So everything starts with the X and the Y. There's 4 different tables here, and those tables can be written up and down. They can be written longwise. So this first table that I've numbered there, you've got an X and you've got a Y. Each one of those are ordered pairs. All right, we always start at the origin, which is 0, 0. This first one says -5. So I'm on this number line. I'm going to go back -5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it's going absolutely nowhere. So the X is -5 and the Y is 0. All right. Now we're going to do -4 and 1, -3 and 2. And notice how we're just continuing to go to the x-axis first and then following the y-axis. We're going to go -2 and +3. So what you're finding out here is this is actually a connected line right here. And it is on the, if you notice, all of the x's are negative and all of the y's are positive. So this is quadrant 2. All right. Let's do this second one here. And we're going to start at 0 and we're going to go to 6. And we're going to go up 1 because both of these are positive. 6 and 1. All right. Over 4, up 2. Over 3. I'm sorry, over 2 and up 3. Then my x is 0 and up 4. So this green line that I have here is I've graphed all of that. And like I said, this is 6. This is a pair. This is a pair. This is a pair. And this is a pair. This is quadrant 1. And if you noticed, all of the x's are positive and all of the y's are positive. So if you have an ordered pair that is positive, positive, you're always going to end up in quadrant 1. All right, let's do this third one. And this third one is, we're going to start at 0 and we're going to go back to -6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to go to -6. And the y is 0. So -6, 0. We've done that. Let's go to -5, -2. -5, -2. -4, -4. -3, -6. And if we look at this one, all of these are negatives and negatives. Oops, not a 0. Sorry, guys. This thing is going extremely slow. Sorry. Negative and negative. So if you notice, the x's are negatives, the y's are negatives. 0 is neither negative or positive. All right, this last one here. Same kind of table as the one that's right above it. And we're going to go through and we're going to plot these points. This is number 3. And let's go +5, -6. +3, -5. +1, -4. And -1 starts at, you start at 0, go -1. I'm sorry, -1, -3. So if you notice these three right here, where's a good color? These three right here are a positive number and then your negative numbers. So these that are in orange, if you notice, they are in quadrant 4. This was quadrant 3, sorry. So those are in quadrant 4, and if you notice this one little yellow one right here happens to be a -1 and a -3, which is in quadrant 3. So this is, like I said, this is just an overview of the different quadrants. Tomorrow we're going to be working more with coordinate planes and actually reviewing tables and seeing how they work, but you need to understand the basics of working with these tables.